Robert Packwood, a once prominent U.S. Senator from Oregon, held office from 1969 to 1995. Known for his legislative skills and progressive stance on issues like abortion rights, Packwood's career ended in disgrace amid allegations of sexual misconduct and corruption. The following are 10 of the most scandalous and shocking facts about his life and career, delving into personal and professional controversies that left an indelible mark on American politics. Number 1. Early life and personal relationships. Robert William Packwood was born on September 11, 1932, in Portland, Oregon, into a family with deep political and civic connections. His father, Willard Packwood, was a local Republican figure, which influenced Robert's early interest in public service. After graduating from Grant High School, Packwood attended Willamette University in Salem, Oregon, where he honed his skills in debate and public speaking. He later earned a law degree from New York University in 1957 and quickly entered politics. In 1964, Robert Packwood married Georgie Abertufer, and the couple had 2 children, Bill and Shyla. Their marriage, however, was far from harmonious. As Packwood's political career advanced, rumors of infidelity and personal misconduct began to surface, placing strain on their relationship. By 1991, the couple divorced, a decision that coincided with mounting allegations against Packwood, both personally and professionally. The divorce further fueled public scrutiny, with many speculating that his private behavior contributed to his unraveling political image. In 1998, Packwood married Elaine Franklin, his former chief of staff. Their relationship garnered attention, given her close professional ties to Packwood during his Senate tenure. The couple eventually settled in a suburb of Portland, Oregon, where they have maintained a quieter life away from the public eye. This second marriage marked a new chapter for Packwood, though the shadow of his past continued to linger. Number 2. The sexual misconduct allegations. Packwood's political career was marred by one of the most explosive sexual harassment scandals in U.S. Senate history. In November 1992, The Washington Post published allegations from 10 women accusing him of unwanted sexual advances. These allegations, some dating back to the 1960s, included claims of forcible kissing, groping, and inappropriate comments. The revelations shocked the political world and painted Packwood as a man who exploited his power for personal gain. By 1995, the Senate Ethics Committee investigated 18 credible allegations of sexual misconduct. One woman referred to Packwood's behavior as predatory, while others recounted being physically restrained or coerced in his Senate office. The Ethics Committee report detailed repeated incidents of physical force, such as grabbing women against their will and forcibly kissing them. According to North Country Public Radio, the committee emphasized the physical nature of Packwood's misconduct, stating that his actions were not only unethical but also potentially criminal. This scandal irreparably damaged his reputation, leading to bipartisan condemnation. Number 3. The diaries that sealed his fate. Packwood's downfall was accelerated by his meticulously kept personal diaries, which became key evidence in the Senate Ethics Committee's investigation. These diaries, spanning decades, contain not only records of his political career but also candid accounts of his sexual misconduct and disparaging remarks about colleagues. Initially seen as a resource for a potential memoir, the diaries became a liability when subpoenaed. In a desperate attempt to protect himself, Packwood reportedly edited and destroyed portions of the diaries before handing them over to investigators. This tampering only deepened his legal troubles, leading Senator Barbara Boxer to accuse him of a blatant betrayal of public trust. The deleted portions reportedly included incriminating details about his interactions with women and his attempts to manipulate political situations for personal gain. Ultimately, the diaries served as both a damning account of his behavior and a testament to his disregard for accountability. Number 4. Manipulating campaign contributions. In addition to allegations of sexual misconduct, Packwood faced scrutiny for unethical fundraising practices. Reports emerged that he pressured lobbyists to make personal donations to his campaign, often while their legislative interests were under Senate review. One notable example involved allegations of quid pro quo relationships with industry leaders, where campaign donations appeared tied to favorable legislative outcomes. The Los Angeles Times described Packwood's fundraising methods as questionably aggressive, highlighting incidents where he allegedly implied that access to his office depended on financial contributions. These practices, while not uncommon in Washington, crossed ethical lines when Packwood directly solicited contributions in exchange for political favors. This added layer of scandal further tarnished his image as a public servant and contributed to his eventual downfall. Number 5. The resignation under duress. Packwood's resignation on September 7, 1995, marked a historic low point for the U.S. Senate. After a 3-year investigation, the Senate Ethics Committee released a scathing 10,145-page report recommending his expulsion. The report detailed his sexual misconduct, diary tampering, and unethical fundraising practices. Faced with overwhelming evidence, Packwood chose to resign rather than face a likely expulsion vote. In his tearful resignation speech on the Senate floor, Packwood expressed regret, stating, "The weight of the allegations against me is too great." However, he continued to deny some of the claims, maintaining that his behavior had been misunderstood or exaggerated. Public reaction to his resignation was mixed, with some viewing it as a long overdue accountability measure and others lamenting the damage to the Senate's reputation. Number 6. Support for women's rights amid misconduct claims. Packwood's political paradox lay in his strong advocacy for women's rights, even as he faced damning allegations of misconduct against women. A staunch supporter of abortion rights, he co-authored the Freedom of Choice Act and consistently championed funding for Planned Parenthood. His legislative record made him a celebrated figure among feminist groups in the 1970s and 1980s. This support waned as allegations of sexual harassment surfaced, leaving many feeling betrayed. Feminist leaders, who had once hailed Packwood as an ally, publicly denounced him. The New York Times quoted one activist as saying, "He was the last person we expected to see in such a scandal." This contradiction between his legislative legacy and personal behavior highlighted the complexities of his political persona, cementing his place in history as a deeply polarizing figure. Number 7. Tarnished legacy of a political career. Despite the scandals, Packwood's contributions to tax reform and economic policy remain significant. As chair of the Senate Finance Committee from 1985 to 1987, he played a pivotal role in crafting the Tax Reform Act of 1986, one of the most comprehensive tax overhauls in U.S. history. The legislation aimed to simplify the tax code, broaden the tax base, and eliminate many tax shelters, earning bipartisan praise. Economist Alan Greenspan referred to it as a landmark achievement in economic policy. Packwood's colleagues often described him as brilliant but deeply flawed. Senator Bob Dole remarked, "Bob's mind was a legislative force, but his personal demons were his undoing." Political analysts pointed to his inability to reconcile his sharp intellect and legislative acumen with his troubling personal behavior. The shadow of his resignation, forced by sexual misconduct allegations, overshadowed these achievements. His legacy serves as a reminder of how personal misconduct can tarnish even the most accomplished careers. Number 8. The fallout from his scandal. Packwood's resignation marked a watershed moment in U.S. politics. On September 7, 1995, he became the first senator in nearly a century to resign under the threat of expulsion, following a damning 10,145-page Senate Ethics Committee report detailing his sexual misconduct. This event set a precedent for holding public officials accountable for personal behavior, a shift in political culture that resonated in subsequent decades. Feminist groups like the National Organization for Women, NOW, hailed his resignation as a victory for women's rights. Patricia Ireland, then president of NOW, stated, "Packwood's departure is a warning to every man in power that such behavior will not be tolerated." The scandal also prompted conversations about the systemic problem of sexual harassment in government institutions. The fallout from the Packwood case echoed in later movements, laying groundwork for greater awareness and accountability in addressing misconduct in positions of power. Number 9. Life after politics. Following his resignation, Packwood largely retreated from the public eye. In an effort to rebuild his life, he founded Sunset Advisors, a lobbying firm in Washington, D.C., leveraging his connections and expertise in tax law. His clientele included corporations seeking insights into tax policy and legislative affairs. While he managed to secure a modest livelihood, his attempts to rehabilitate his public image were met with limited success. Packwood maintained a small group of loyal supporters who emphasized his legislative achievements, but his name became synonymous with scandal. Efforts to publish a memoir detailing his side of the story faltered, with publishers wary of public backlash. When interviewed years later, Packwood expressed bitterness about the political system that he believed had discarded him. For most Americans, however, his legacy remained indelibly linked to his misconduct, not his contributions to policy. Number 10. The question of redemption. Packwood's post-political years raised questions about redemption and accountability. In interviews, he expressed regret for his actions but often downplayed the severity of the allegations. Critics argued that his lack of full acknowledgement prevented him from achieving genuine redemption. "My biggest mistake," he once said, "was not understanding how my actions could be perceived." The statement drew criticism for its tone, which many saw as evasive.